Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and today we're gonna hunt tabs for a change of pace. Because I actually haven't spent much time hunting tabs. And I'm kind of sick of hunting kafas for the moment. These are actually pretty good for the whole idea of speed hunting, even with like Buchan's spare rifle. Maybe not in the same way that Scotty C93 meant with speed hunting, but it's fairly close to speed hunting. You can cycle through a lot of them quickly. A rotten tab tooth. Isn't that lovely? Blech. Are they actually worth anything? No. Okay. So, okay. There is something I actually want to talk about other than ruminating about tabs. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please consider going to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. If you do, you'll get the Modern Entropian and Personal Finance for Gamers, along with exclusive videos for being a member. Okay. So, after talking about some of the most expensive shit in Entropia Universe that came up on the auction the other night, it got me to thinking. And it got me to thinking about how people could pull together the money. Because apparently, that privateer, that 65,000 pet privateer, there are players negotiating for it. That's probably going to sell due to the auction. Not directly from the auction, but due to the auction. And believe me when I say, I wish I had had the dosh for it. My hope is if I can grow this channel big enough, a privateer is in my future, or at least a Starfinder or Pathfinder. I would love to have a privateer. Mothership would be cool, but I don't foresee that being anywhere in the realm of practicality. That requires a crew. A Pathfinder or a privateer would ideally have a crew as well, but it doesn't require the size of a crew as a mothership to really manage. Like, I'm not as cool as the Titans of Space, right? I don't have that kind of pull. Though eventually that may happen. Never know. But I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, well, the Titans of Space are kind of like big industries. They're a good example of a player-run corporation. They're a group of players that have gathered together under they've agreed to a hierarchy. You know, you've got JBK on top, and from everything I can tell, his second in command is Bonnie, who's the captain of the Normandy. I mean, you don't get to be captain of a mothership without being high-ranked in an organization, unless you're the actual owner, of which she isn't, JBK is. And so, I was thinking about it, and how would such an organization run? And the first thing that occurred to me is, you really have to trust the people you're with. And in an RCE game, it's a lot tougher than in, say, like a World of Warcraft, where if someone raids the bank in World of Warcraft, it's a monster bitch, but you're ain't out a bunch of money, right? You're not out a bunch of money if that happens, but there's got to be some way to create profit. And there has to be some way to create that means to grow your business and create a business. And that's not easy. And it's even harder to regulate. And it's even harder to regulate because it's really hard to issue consequences to those who screw other people over. And, I mean, let's be facing it. When it comes to the market economy here, and I'm not trying to be political with this, but you got to call a spade a spade. Entropia Universe is basically an anarcho-capitalistic society. You know, money basically rules everything here. And that's, I don't know if that's by accident or by design. I would assume it's by design because it's a real cash economy game. Right? So, you've got this game where everything has real value. And so you have to keep in mind that because everything has real value, if someone screws another player over, or if you pirate someone, they're out real money. So how do you produce a corporation out of that where all of the players work together? And the only way I could think of it is through use of contracts. Or by some sort of an operating agreement where everyone shares out the total profits. And I could see that working, where you have, say, 10 players, right? And you have, let's scale it up. No, let's call it 10, because 10's hard enough to get together. Most of your player-run companies are small. Like Big Industries, as far as I know, is only 4 people. It could be more than that now, but there are 4 key individuals in that organization. But let's say you've got 10 players, 10 friends that all get together, and they come up with this operating agreement. And you say, okay, you 5 do the mining, and you 3 do the hunting, and 2 of them take all of those materials and do all the crafting. And when trading these things, you pump money into the hunters and the miners, and those are your depots, and everyone splits up the total amount of depots. So let's say each of the 10, all 10 people put in $10 a month, right? So that's $100. And then you divvy up that $100 8 ways so that the 8 players that need the money in order to do their role have that money to operate with. And yes, I'm deliberately using small numbers just for the sake of an example. So pulling out my handy dandy calculator here that I did not have out prior. If everyone puts in $10, that's $100 for 10 players. Divide that by 8, everyone gets $12.50 worth of universal ammo. Would be the best way to do it, because you can use universal ammo to mine. And then they go out and they start doing their thing, right? Miners drop probes, hunters hunt mobs, they collect their loots. They then give that loot to the crafters, who refine the loot, use the loot to make the things, and then sell those things on the open market for markup. After which, the revenues are then divvied up among the 10 players. And this is going to take time, right? Because you've got to understand that you're going to lose money in skill building until you've got the crafters to a point where they're just a friggin' power factory. And the miners are just power mining. And the hunters are Ubers, right? So, you got Uber miners and Uber crafters and Uber hunters. And they're just top of their game. And there's going to be other profits to be made. Because things like, I probably don't have anything in here right now. Kaffa's hides, as an example, have a really high markup. You could just sell that on the open market for the markup to help defray the cost of all of the hunting and mining you have to do and all of the missed clicks on crafting. Alternatively, you could all agree, okay, we're all going to dump $10 in a month, and that $10 must be used on our focus until our skills are high enough for it to make sense. So the best way to make crafting skills these days, you're either fixing ships or you're crafting explosives. That's just the way it goes. That's how you build up those initial skills. And even I will dump 100 ped once in a while into nanocubes when I've got to do wood or something like that. And I'll just craft, even though crafting really isn't my gig, because eventually I would love to be able to do that. I'd love to be able to craft things and sell them at a shop. Here on Toulon, if I'm lucky enough to pick up the right page. And if not here, then on the auction house, whatever. Now, personally, I would love to be able to set up a shop that sells almost exclusively newbie gear, because it helps the new people out. They've got an affordable place to pick up stuff. I make a little bit of money. The newbies stay in guns and armor. It's a virtuous cycle, and that's what it is. And a lot of people don't understand this about like market economies. They think that it's all about who can extract wealth from it. No, everyone has a need. Everyone has a need. Newbies need guns. Newbies need armor. I have the skills to collect those guns and armor. I have no need for those guns and armor. Instead of TTing them, I could surely sell them to a newbie for 10% over cost, especially if I'm not having to deal with auction fees or the requirements of the auction house. So I sell them for, like, do I have the armor on me or did I dump it in the, no, I dumped it in my storage. I could easily sell like the 3 peds, 3.6 ped armors that you get here that are newbie armors and they're limited. Sell them for like 4 ped. I'm not making a shitload of money off of them. I'm making literally 4 cents. But the newbies get their armor. I'm making a little bit of peck off of it so that I've got more money to put into things like ammo. And everyone benefits. It's a virtuous cycle. You know? That's kind of like altruism, but better. Same can be said about the player-run corporation. The 10 of them get together, they pump in the money, they build the skills, they distribute the profits amongst each other. You know, they all put the work in, they all profit from it. Over time, as the player-run corporation maybe expands, you know, you have to reimburse someone to do administrative shit, like keep track of who has what. Okay, they earn a salary. And yeah, we're talking in like pennies on what normal people would make doing regular jobs, but it's still a thing. Look at the way Titans of Space runs things. You know, they have a ship. And I know I don't know for a fact, but if I had to make a guess, JBK and Bonnie do this professionally. They don't need other jobs. Bonnie especially. And that's totally on her skills. I'm not dissing here. This is not me throwing shade. Good for them. Good for them. They found a niche. They nailed it. And so they don't need to do anything else. And that's a big assumption on my part, but if I had to make a guess, that's what they do. Big Industries did the same thing. And good for them. Absolutely kudos to them. And that's something that I think is everyone has the opportunity if they put the time in. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand about this game. I've said it before, and I'll say it a million times. This is an economic non-simulation. There is a true economy here. A tab spawned on top of the oh, never mind. There he is. Everything in this game, when it comes to the market, operates identically to the way it would work in real life because real money is involved. So there's opportunities here to screw with the market as well. I was talking to my boss earlier, and my boss is a gamer. I work for a small business, and my boss is a gamer as well. He played EQ. Okay. He played EQ, and his favorite thing to do is what I like to do with my friends in World of Warcraft, and fuck with the markets. You know, my guild in World of Warcraft basically controlled bag prices on a server for 2 years. I'm not making that up. That's basically what happened, largely because of the girl I was dating at the time. She was masterful, and she had the patience. Oh god, was she industrious. She had the fucking patience to do it too. She just craft bags, she watched the market, she timed the market, and she knew how to crash prices and force other people out and then build them back up. It was like, I don't know. I wish I could have. Yeah. Anyway, we were called a cartel for a reason. Mostly because of her. I'm not gonna lie. I like to wish it was me. You know, I was the head of the guild, and because we were we played a goblin cartel, my title was Trade Prince, but really the mastermind behind it all was her. I can't even. I just can't. I can't fake it, but that's okay. But anyway, the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of opportunity here for players that know how to play the game. If you get 10 players together and all you do all day long is hunt Kaffas. That's all you do. Let's say the 10 of, I get 9 friends and we all go and hunt Kaffas for an 8-hour Saturday. And we end up with, well, let's even use these tabs as an example. And we'll just pretend that these rotten tab tooths have sold them more than once per year. And taking the 1.12 as the standard, if we collect 50 ped worth, we get 56 back, and we'd split the profits. Now, that's not a huge amount, but if it was like the Kaffas hide, which I think was at 350, we get 175 back. Divide that by 10, that's 17.5 ped a piece. Doesn't sound like a lot because it's not, but put that in perspective. For the cost of 50 ped worth of one item, we got that back, and that ignores all of the other loot we collect, like the tails, like the oils, like the residues, like the components. Oh, tab high. What does this go for? 220, 504%. 504%. Okay? There. Boom. Earlier this month, it was going for almost 600%. I don't know what idiot decided to crash it back to 227. You could have made a killing off that shit, dude. Come on, man. But that's how you do it. You hunt the right mobs. You use the low markup shit to keep you in ped. The high markup shit is your profit. And yeah, one person can do it, but it's slower than fucking death. But if you combine your forces, run it like a corporation, go for it. And if someone does something stupid, that's on them. Don't subsidize their stupidity. I wonder, is it dodge? You know what? I probably shouldn't even be in armor fighting these guys. Let's just, wear out my armor like a moron. I know how to fight low-level shit. I'm just too dumb to do it the right way. But yeah, that's how you do it. And I don't know, maybe it's because it's such a niche game that not enough friend groups play together, but a lot of people build relationships with folks in the game, and understanding that all of us know that, if we don't know the person in real life, we can't hold them accountable. And that's a big thing. I mean, true, a person could definitely take some serious reputational damage if they screw someone over, but it's hard to prove. It really is. And Mindark has pretty much said, buyer and seller beware. You trust someone with your shit, and they walk away with it? Sorry, Charlie, you fell for the con. There's no regulation here. That's something to think about too. But on those bigger items like that ship where it's 65,000 ped, if you've got a group of people that all go in on it together, you name one of them the captain, and you all work together, you could have a business running. And I mean, that one was basically a business in a box, right? Well, a business in a deed, I suppose. Charge 20 ped a ticket. JBK has a really cool subscription model going. I've honestly thought of signing up just to get the experience as an engineer in. Doing repair runs with them. You know, sign on for a couple of months. If it wasn't for the fact that their rounds start when I'm at work and they last such a long time, I'd totally do it, but I've got other obligations. Sometimes being responsible can be a bitch, yo. No. On the other hand, it's always something to think about. As for me, I'm going to keep doing what I do for right now. My son plays on occasion. As he gets older, I'm sure he'll probably spend more time in it. We're kind of reluctant because MindArt changed the rules. Like back when he started, 13-year-olds could play with permission of the parent. Okay, made an avatar, put like $5 in for him. And then they changed the rules so it's 18 only. It's like, well, shit. Can he still play? Is he on freeze? I need to make sure he logs in enough just to keep the avatar alive. So if there's a MindArt employee that's watching this, we're not trying to violate the rules, but y'all change the rules. And we want to know, I'd love some guidance. And the thing is, you have to agree to the TOS every time you play, which means if they change the TOS, you agree to a new TOS every time you play. Which kind of screws over some people because, like, here in the US, you have some recourse, right? People would be grandfathered in. But because you have to agree to the terms of service every time, does that renew the requirement? I don't know. But now I'm kind of going on a tangent. But eventually I'd like to get him in here and doing things like mining. You know, he loves the idea of mining and crafting. I'm all for it. He's got to have the patience for it. Which, you know, if anything is going to teach a child patience, this game would be it. Why would the tooth TT for 5 pack? Oh my god. Is there like a tooth fairy? Entropian tooth fairy. It's the new breed of leprechaun on Monria. No, I'm joking. There's no new leprechauns on Monria. See DME coming after me. Julian, what are you doing? No, she wouldn't do that. DME's cool. Okay, I'm gonna fight my way out of this mess. These tabs are actually kind of cute, to be honest. We'll first person one of them. Somewhere on here, one of the most rare pets in the game is a tab. There's a word for it. Not reskin. Doesn't matter. It uses the same model as a tab, but it's far more. It's a pet. It's tameable. And one of them starting bid on that sucker was friggin' 5,000 ped. At that auction, 5,000 ped for a frickin' for that pet. Because it's an auto loot pet. Yet I only paid 250 for this guy here. Which I'm still not eligible to use the auto loot skill. I'm gonna go stand in the fire. There we go. Whoa! No! Wow. Wow. I literally got myself stuck in the fire. That's actually hilarious. Look at that. You can actually see down below me. It's coming down from a crevasse underneath. That's kind of cool. I'm actually going to have to I think I'm going to have to use my my revive terminal teleport. I didn't realize you could fall in. So, okay, we'll call it there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. And as always, I appreciate your support. Yeah, I can't even. We'll see you in the next one.